Okay, let's unpack this. You've probably heard a term buzzing around the digital world coming out of China lately. Private traffic.
Hmm.
What on earth does that actually mean?
It's such a crucial concept right now.
Oh,
See, Liu Liang. At its heart, it's really about businesses deliberately building and, owning their own direct connection with their customers
right.
instead of constantly having to pay platforms or advertisers just to get attention.
So less renting customers, more owning the actual relationship.
Exactly.
We've been looking through this stack of sources, articles, reports, analyses, all digging into this idea of private traffic and how it's, exploding alongside live commerce in China.
Hmm.
Our mission for this deep dive is to kind of cut through the noise, understand exactly what the sources say is happening, and, well, why it's such a big deal.
Yeah, we're going to start by nailing down these key terms because understanding private versus public, that's fundamental.
Right.
Then we'll explore the driving forces behind this shift. We've got some absolutely fascinating real-world company examples that really bring this to life.
Oh, good.
And finally, we'll kind of zoom out to think about what this means, even if you're not operating, directly in the Chinese market.
Okay, let's jump right in then. Because to grasp private traffic, you first have to understand what came before, or maybe what it's reacting against.
Exactly. Yeah. The sources talk a lot about public traffic. Oken, Gengyu, Liuliang.
Okay.
Now, this is the kind of traffic you get from those sort of broad external sources where you're essentially paying for visibility.
Like ads.
Yeah, think search engine ads, or relying on the big platforms' algorithms to recommend you, or, hiring those massive online influencers, the Who or Van Hong, to push your products.
Right.
You're effectively paying a toll to access an audience on someone else's property.
Okay, so public traffic is like putting up billboards in, I don't know, Times Square. You pay for the eyeballs that happen to pass by.
Pretty much, yeah.
What about this private traffic then? How's that different?
So that's the audience a business builds and, crucially, keeps for itself. These are the customers who choose to follow your specific brand account on, say, WeChat,
Okay.
who join a dedicated customer group chat that you manage, who download your brand's mini program, or engage deeply with content you create on your own blogs or short video channels.
Oh.
With private traffic, you have a direct line of communication that you control.
Ah, okay. So the key difference isn't just how they found you initially, it's like the ongoing relationship.
That's precisely it, yeah.
Yeah.
It really comes down to what the sources call stickiness.
Yeah.
Miangsing.
Stickiness, okay.
Public traffic, yeah, it can bring massive numbers, but often, as one source puts it, they're kind of just passing by.
Right. Fleeting.
Very fleeting. They might click once, maybe buy something, but they have very low repeat purchase rates.
Hmm.
Private traffic, on the other hand, it takes effort to cultivate initially, no doubt. But these customers who are on their way to becoming fans, maybe even advocates.
Right, loyalists.
Exactly. And that leads to much higher stickiness, loyalty, and crucially, repeat purchases.
And that seems to be the core driver of this big strategic shift we're seeing.
Absolutely. The sources, they really
Yeah.
indicate that acquiring public traffic has just become increasingly expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And the return on that investment, in terms of loyal customers, was diminishing. Businesses started realizing that constantly chasing new customers through paid channels wasn't really sustainable or, frankly, very profitable in the long run.
Makes sense.
So investing in building their own direct customer base, their private traffic, that offered a more stable and ultimately more valuable path.
Okay.
And this strategic pivot, it really gained speed around 2019 and then, maybe not surprisingly, accelerated dramatically during the pandemic when, physical stores were shut down.
Which, yeah, leads us beautifully to live commerce. It feels like you can't talk about digital trends in China right now without mentioning live commerce.
Oh, definitely not.
How does it fit into this private traffic story?
Well, it's become a massive engine for it. Live commerce isn't just, a new way to sell things.
Right.
It's a really powerful tool for building those direct connections and strengthening customer relationships, which is like the essence of private traffic.
Okay, but let's look back briefly, because live commerce didn't just appear out of nowhere, right?
Right. No, exactly. It actually started on the more traditional e-commerce platforms. Think Maguji, Taobao, JD.com, back around 2016, believe it or not.
Okay, 2016.
Yeah, and the initial idea was quite functional. It was use live streaming to better showcase products already listed on the platform, almost like a digital infomercial or a personal shopping channel.
Right.
The hosts were often like expert store staff or maybe affiliates earning commissions on sales.
Okay.
Think of those early giants, like Via on Taobao.
Yeah.
She started in apparel but became this incredible eye for consumers, trusted to find good deals across other brands' products.
I remember hearing about her billions in a day, right?
Yeah. Famously sold billions in a single day. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Or Austin Lai, the lipstick king. He started with L'Oreal but built trust by becoming this curator, helping consumers choose for themselves.
Okay.
This early phase was often about influencers selling other people's goods, primarily driving traffic to the platform's product pages.
Got it. So the host was a guide to the platform's existing catalog, more or less,
Yeah,
but the sources highlight a different model emerging later.
precisely. Around 2018 onwards, maybe,
Mm.
when the short video platforms like Kuaishou and Douyin, that's the Chinese TikTok, of course,
Right.
really enter the live commerce game, the model often shifted. Pretty significantly, actually.
How so?
On these platforms, it became much more common to see the actual producers, manufacturers, or, the brand owners themselves hosting the live streams
Ah,
and
interesting.
selling their own products directly.
That sounds like a fundamental difference, like that Wu Yu example you mentioned before.
Absolutely. Perfect example. Wu Yi, who sells Baiyu, that's Chinese liquor, on Kuaishou, he didn't just, list bottles for sale. He leveraged his expertise. He's a certified sommelier, and even his personal story as an earthquake rescue hero
Wow.
to build deep trust. His live streams were about teaching people, how to identify good Baiyu, how to taste it, sharing stories. He was selling his own product, building that direct relationship based on shared interest and, authenticity.
I see. So selling your own products, telling your own story, engaging directly with viewers on these short video platforms, plus creating regular content that builds a much stronger personal connection.
Yes.
It cultivates that sticky private traffic tied to you or your brand, not just being like a temporary storefront on a big marketplace.
Exactly. You're building loyalty to the person, the story, the brand itself, not just, facilitating a transaction for someone else's goods.
And the sheer scale of live commerce in China. I mean, the growth has been just unbelievable.
It really has. The sources cite these forecasts that seem, staggering now, estimating the market size at 961 billion RMB back in 2020.
Wow.
And projected to exceed 1 trillion RMB in 2021. In actual growth, it often outpaced even those optimistic numbers. It's really become a mainstream way of shopping there.
And it's pushing beyond just like clicking buy while watching something.
Yeah, totally. It's evolving into what the sources are calling interest-based e-commerce.
Interest-based e-commerce. Okay.
Yeah, it's less about searching for something you already know you need.
Right.
And more about discovering new products because you're interested in the content or the host or the community around the live stream. It's discovery, kind of driven by passion and relationship.
Though I did notice the sources mention a challenge with return rates.
Ah, yes, that's a significant point. Despite the huge sales volumes, live commerce can face very high return rates.
How high are we talking?
Well, sources sometimes cite figures as high as 30 to 50%.
50%. Wow.
Yeah, which is dramatically higher than traditional e-commerce's typical maybe 10-15%.
That's huge.
It is. Managing customer expectations in that really fast-paced, almost impulse buy environment is clearly a challenge.
Yeah, 30–50% is massive, yet despite that, investment is still pouring into this sector.
It is, yeah. Even with broader economic headwinds, the sources indicate there's continued significant investment in the whole live commerce ecosystem in China. Supporting the platforms, the multi-channel networks, MCNs that manage creators, and various service providers building tools for this space. It's clearly seen as a long-term growth engine.
Okay, so we understand what private traffic is, why businesses are shifting towards it, and how live commerce is kind of fueling it. The big question now is, how are companies actually doing this on the ground?
Right.
What does building this private traffic look like in practice?
Well, one of the most striking common strategies highlighted in the sources is this concept they call everyone is an SNS promoter.
Everyone is an SNS promoter.
Yeah, it's a fundamental shift, really.
Yeah.
Companies are actively mobilizing their entire workforce and sometimes even their most engaged, loyal customers to become advocates and relationship builders online within their own personal social networks.
Yeah.
It moves the focus from traditional, centralized marketing campaigns to this decentralized, relationship-driven outreach.
Everyone is an SNS promoter. That sounds incredibly powerful, but also maybe a little chaotic.
It could be, yeah.
Let's dive into those examples. Wenfeng department store. That was a traditional retailer, right?
Yes. Wenfeng is a large retail chain, and like many, they were hit extremely hard by physical store closures during COVID-19.
Right.
They reacted pretty decisively. They developed WeChat mini programs, and this is the crucial part, incentivize all 10,000 of their employees,
The 10,000.
10,000 employees, to recruit new members primarily from their own personal networks, family, friends, acquaintances, into these mini programs.
Wow. Leveraging those existing trust networks. Did it work?
It worked spectacularly well, according to the sources. A stunning 85% of their mini program e-commerce sales ended up coming from this employee-generated private traffic.
85%.
Yeah. So the insight here isn't just mobilize employees, but specifically that leveraging employees' existing personal relationships to bring people into a controlled digital channel like a mini program,
Yeah.
that's incredibly effective for generating high-converting private traffic.
That makes so much sense.
And they also smartly integrated online and offline. They were selling discounted store vouchers via the mini programs, offering special discounts for in-store pickup, driving foot traffic back later.
Smart.
And their live commerce wasn't just hard selling. They did different cosmetics, brands, groceries, focusing on useful content like makeup tutorials or cooking demos, building connection beyond just the transaction.
Okay, that's a clear lesson.
Yeah.
Tap existing trust, move it into own channels, and provide real value. What about TCL, the electronics giant? How did they approach this?
TCL took a similar but maybe more decentralized path. They empowered their massive workforce of 68,000 employees.
68,000.
Yeah. Plus repeat customers to become SNS promoters. Employees would share product info on social media, often linking back to where customers could buy, and they'd earn commissions.
Right.
They also got employee discounts, which probably encouraged their own engagement. And the results were, again, enormous. 1 month sales generated through these employee social networks equaled 80% of their national chain store sales
Wow.
and was 5.6 times the sales of their top single store.
Incredible numbers.
Yeah, and giving local stores the flexibility to run their own live streams also seemed really key to this decentralized model's success.
68,000 employees acting as promoters. The
Yep.
sheer scale is just incredible. And it shows that even these huge corporations can adopt this decentralized personal approach. What about a more traditional company like Gujing Distillery, the baijiu producer?
Yeah, Gujings, they were historically very focused on offline distribution. They also embraced the everyone is an SNS promoter
Right.
model, but they brought in not just employees, but also their distributors and other partners too.
Okay, widening the net.
Exactly. In just 200 days, they recruited 240,000 promoters.
250,000 promoters.
Yeah. The sales generated via these promoters' social networks reached 10 million RMB monthly.
Wow.
And what's fascinating here is that the sources point out this wasn't just cannibalizing store sales. It was actually adding volume.
How so?
By encouraging promoters' personal networks to choose Gojing over a competitor when they were already planning to buy Baiji. It influenced the brand choice within existing purchase occasions.
Ah, clever.
And interestingly, this whole initiative also drove significant internal changes. They simplified product lines, improved bottle size options based directly on feedback from these promoters.
Oh, interesting.
And it boosted employee morale because they could see their performance tracked in real time. So the insight is that mobilizing your network isn't just about sales. It can be this powerful feedback loop for the entire business.
That internal feedback loop, that's a really great point. Okay, finally, Baojing Eyewear.
Right. Baojing. Large eyewear chain, 1,100 stores, millions of existing members, but they struggle with actually engaging that membership base.
Okay, common problem.
Very common. So they started encouraging their over 8,000 employees to become SNS promoters and also to live stream across various platforms, Dianping, Xiaohongshu, Zhihu, Douyin. They also built a dedicated, centralized live commerce team of about 800 people. Now, while buying eyeglasses isn't exactly a frequent event,
No, definitely not.
building this direct, relationship-based private traffic really helped them navigate the pandemic much better than they might have otherwise. It kept the brand top of mind
Right.
and created a foundation for future repeat business or referrals when customers do eventually need new glasses.
Yeah.
So the lesson here is that even in industries with less frequent purchases, cultivating private traffic provides resilience and, long-term potential.
These examples really hammer home that the success isn't just about the technology, is it? It's about empowering and mobilizing people your workforce, your partners, your loyal customers to build these direct personal connections.
It truly seems to be the engine driving the most successful private traffic strategies, at
Oh.
least in these sources, yeah.
Okay, so let's pull back a bit then. Why should businesses outside of China care about this? What are the broader implications of cultivating this private traffic?
Well, the sources lay out some pretty clear advantages that seem universal, really.
Where
Once you've built that private audience, your customer acquisition costs can drop significantly compared to constantly paying for public traffic.
that makes sense. Lower CAC.
Lower CAC, exactly. You see much higher customer loyalty and repeat purchase rates, which directly impacts profitability by reducing reliance on those high-commission third-party platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And, importantly, it creates a much more stable, predictable revenue stream that isn't entirely dependent on, fluctuating platform algorithms or advertising
It
costs.
sounds like a way to gain more control and build more long-term value, really.
Exactly. And it helps businesses overcome some inherent limitations, right?
Hmm.
Physical stores are limited by location and hours, while traditional e-commerce marketplaces often suffer from intense price competition and pretty low brand loyalty. Building private traffic offers a path to kind of transcend those limitations by building that direct, loyal relationship.
And it's tied into a larger digital transformation process, too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for more traditional businesses trying to adapt to the digital age, it requires breaking down old organizational silos,
Mhm.
getting online and offline teams to work together, often in fundamentally new ways, like, mobilizing store staff for online activities.
So what are the critical success factors then, based on what we've read?
Well, beyond just mobilizing people, it requires genuine employee buy-in. You need to provide them with the right training and tools,
Right.
building authentic, trusting customer relationships based on value, not just constant sales pitches. That's paramount.
Value.
And integrating online and offline touch points seamlessly so the customer experience feels consistent and natural no matter how they're interacting with you.
Mm.
Some interesting research mentioned in the sources even suggests standardizing metrics for this, looking at things like private domain assets.
Okay.
That's like the number of customers, their engagement levels,
Hmm.
then customer value. So lifetime value, repeat purchase rate,
Right.
and customer referral rate. It's
Yeah.
sometimes called this whole thing the private domain triangle.
The private domain triangle. I like that. That's a great way to frame the key performance indicators for this approach. It kind of shifts the focus from just immediate sales volume to the actual health and value of your customer relationships.
Precisely. It's really about building a sustainable foundation for the future.
Okay. We've really gone deep into private traffic and its pretty explosive relationship with live commerce in China.
Mhm.
We've seen how companies are shifting from, renting attention to owning customer relationships, fueled by empowering their own people and leveraging these direct channels like live streaming.
Yeah. And it's clear from the sources that this isn't just some short-term tactic or something only relevant to the Chinese market. It really seems to represent a fundamental strategic shift in how successful businesses are connecting with consumers in the digital age everywhere.
So what does this all mean for you listening in, even if you're not, planning a live stream launch party in Shanghai next week?
Right.
Thinking about this concept of private traffic prompts a really interesting question for any business, doesn't it? How are you building strong, sticky relationships with your customers online? Are you primarily relying on paying for that transient public traffic, or are you actively cultivating a community and direct connections that actually belong to you?
Yeah, and perhaps something to consider, maybe building on that private domain triangle idea, could simply attempting to calculate your own business's ratio of private versus public traffic reveal some surprising insights, about where your most valuable, most loyal customer connections truly reside. It might show you where your real strengths are, or maybe highlight the areas where you need to invest more effort in building those direct relationships for, well, long-term resilience.